Schools. Kevin Polston. Kevin, good morning.
Morning.
Kevin, let's dive right in. A couple of days ago, COVID-19 was confirmed in your school. Let's talk about those numbers as well as how we're prepping for these next few weeks.
Yeah, obviously the spread of COVID-19 in our community is something that we've all been paying attention to, and the cause for action was necessary, and I appreciate that the governor looked at it in a comprehensive manner. Our schools are as safe as any place in our community, and we've seen very low levels of school transmission. And so while we know that we need to take this step and allow our high school students to learn remotely while protecting that in-person experience for our K-8 students, as well as our most needy students at high school, our special education students and English learners.
Absolutely. And talk about how you guys have been preparing for this, because you worked so much leading into the school year to be ready in case you'd have to do this remote learning.
When the Return to School Roadmap was released on June 30th, it called for districts to have plans in place for remote learning, that periodic closures were something that we were prepared for. So every district has a remote learning plan for all learners, and depending on the local conditions, may have to execute that beyond high school. It really depends on what the spread is, but also substitute teachers have been very difficult to find. So whether it's in quarantine or isolation, we know that finding those caring adults to be there on a substitute basis has been a challenge for many districts. So the remote learning that will happen now will look very different than it did in the spring. And we've learned a lot and we've prepared for it. And our staff have really stepped up to make it a quality learning experience for each of our children.
A very fluid situation. If we have additional information to come in the future, how are we going to be updating those who are in your community?
As always, each school district has communication channels to get out to all of their parents and community members, whether it's through social media, through direct communication, such as email or text. And what is really important is that we look at our collective actions right now. Hospital capacity, our most vulnerable members of our community are at risk unless we take action right now. And what I appreciate that it was a comprehensive decision, not just looking at pieces in isolation, because we know that community spread happens through those personal interactions, and we have to make those difficult choices right now. And I know districts will make sure that their stakeholders are kept in close communication.
Absolutely. And Kevin, right now we know it's just the high schools, but we know that elementaries are going to stay in person. Do you guys have plans just in case those were to have to go remote as well?
Yeah, we are fortunate to have the resources to make sure that each of our children have access to a Chromebook. So we're one-to-one K-12, and we've also made sure that our students have access to internet if needed. Our priority is to keep our elementary students in person, because we know that especially younger students like kindergarten, first grade, learning remotely is a challenge at best for them. We know the experience is better in person, but also the essential services that kids get at school, especially again, our special education students that need the therapies such as speech and language or physical therapy or occupational therapy, to make sure that they are well served in school. And again, I just want to show my appreciation to our staff who have really stepped up. They've been frontline heroes for us, and without them, we couldn't be where we're at. But our priority is to keep those elementary learners in person.
Kevin,
Absolutely.
we wish you well. We wish everyone well at Godfrey-Lee and all public schools. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, stay safe. Thank you.